I love you. And on this Valentine's Day, we are talking about love. And on this Valentine's Day, I have a story about love. Stories. Now the measure by which you say stories come tells me how badly you want a story. Stories. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm going back. Bye. Stories. Hadithi. Ina. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? Can I tell you a story, my people? Are you ready for a story this table? Are you ready for a story this table? Can I tell you a story? Ina. Hapo zamani za kale. Hadithi. Paukwa. Sahani. Giza. Kiboko. Maiskeli. Gideri. Nadia samaki. Hapo zamani za kale. Once upon a time, the world was a beautiful place. Everybody loved one another, and everybody was happy. Until an ogre from the neighboring village came into this village. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? The ogre, say the ogre, from across the village, came to this new village and stole love and kindness away. The ogre from across the village came to this new village and stole love and kindness. And he threw it away. And then there was no more love, there was no more kindness in this village. Can I tell you a story? Oh, the village became full of strife. Nobody cared about anybody. Nobody was kind anymore. Nobody cared about love. Can I tell you a story? I say, Ina, you are not ready for this story. You are not. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? This village became very rough. Like a rundown neighborhood. There was no more love. There was no more kindness. Nobody cared about nobody. The village was so unkind that grown men made fun of cripples in the marketplace, and everybody cheered for them. The world was so cruel and unkind that mothers abandoned their own children. The world was so cruel and kind that little children bullied other little children. The world was so cruel that mothers abandoned their own children. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you, definitely. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. Let me see. Nobody cared about you. Sir, no, nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about him. Nobody cared about nobody. Nobody cared about the DJ either. The world was so cruel, nobody cared about nobody.
What about you?
Nobody cared about me either. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? But one day, one woman determined to change the course of the village. She said, I can no longer live in this world where everybody is so cruel and unkind. I have to change. I have to bring kindness into this world. This woman wanted to be known as the kindest woman in her village. Not just a village. She wanted to be known as the kindest woman in the whole city. Not just a city. She wanted to be known as the kindest woman in the whole, not just the world. She wanted to be known as the kindest woman in the whole universe. Not just the universe, my brother. She wanted to be known as the kindest woman in the whole world. Not just everywhere, not just the world. She wanted to be known as the kindest woman who ever lived, period. Can I tell you a story? You are not ready for this story. You are not ready for this story. They are not ready for this story. Can I tell you a story? She wanted to be known as the kindest woman who ever lived, period. And she thought long and hard and said, how do I show love and kindness in this village? What do I do to show love and kindness in village so everybody can know me as the kindest and the most loving woman in the whole world? She thought long and hard and came up with what she thought was a brilliant idea. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? They are not ready for this story. They are not ready for it. Can you tell it? Can I tell you a story? She thought long and hard and came up with an idea that she said, from now, I'm going to show kindness by baking a loaf of bread, baking some chapati, and once I bake chapati, I'm going to put them on the window. Once I put the chapati on the window, I'm going to let anyone who wants to eat my chapati enjoy the chapati. All they have to do is say, thank you, gracias, shukran, asante sana. So every morning she woke up, she baked a loaf of bread, sliced in the middle. What do you put in your bread? Jello. She put some jelly. She put some peanut butter, Nutella. She put avocado, and then she put the bread on the window. As soon as she put the bread on the window, guess who came by that morning? Can I tell you a story? Oh, you are not ready. Can I tell you a story? As soon as she put the bread on the window, guess who came by? A hunchback man. A hunchback man came to the window and took the bread without saying thank you. Took the bread without saying gracias. Took the bread without saying shukran. Took the bread without saying asante sana. But instead looked at the woman and said, the evil that you do will come back to you. The good that you do will come back to you. And the hunchback man walked away. And this woman, she was mad. She was mad and said, who is this hunchback man who comes to my window and takes my bread without saying thank you? Takes my bread without saying gracias. Takes my bread without saying shukran. Takes my bread without saying asante sana. Who is this hunchback man? But she remembered that she had to be what? Kind. She remembered that she had to what? Show love. So the following morning, she woke up again and she made a what? Bread, some chapati, sliced in the middle and put some what? Peanut butter, put some what? Nutella, put some what? Avocado. And she put the bread on the what? On the window. you a story. Are you ready for a story? As soon as she put the bread on the window, guess who came back? The hunchback man. And the hunchback man took the bread without saying thank you. Took the bread without saying gracias. Took the bread without saying shukran. Took the bread without saying asante sana. But instead looked at the woman and said, the evil that you do will come back to you. The good that you do will come back to you. And the hunchback man did what? Walked away with the bread. Can I tell you a story? This woman, she was mad. She was livid. She was, who is this? I don't know why she was talking like this. She was mad. She was like, who is this hunchback woman, hunchback man who comes to my window, takes my bread without saying thank you, takes my bread without saying gracias, takes my bread without saying shukran, takes my bread without saying asante sana. Who is this hunchback man? She was mad, but she remembered, I have to be what? Kind. I have to be what? Loving. So she made another loaf of bread. Can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a story? She made another loaf of bread in the morning and she put it on the window. And guess who came by again? The hunchback man took the bread without saying thank you. Took the bread without saying gracias. Took the bread without saying shukran. Took the bread without saying asante sana. But instead looked at the woman and said, the evil that you do will come back to you. The good that you do will come back to you. And he walked away with the bread. Can I tell you a story? She was so mad this time and said, I'm trying to be good and nobody wants to be good with me. Tomorrow I'm going to teach this hunchback man a lesson. I'm putting poison. I'm putting poison in the bread. I'm trying to be good, but nobody wants to be good with me. Tomorrow, I'm putting poison. Can I tell you a story? Are you ready for a story? So the following morning, she woke up in the morning. She made a slice of bread. She made some chapati and put a whole lot of poison in the bread. She put a whole lot of poison. And she took the bread. Just when she was about to put the bread on the window, guess what? Her hands started to shake. Her hands were shaking. And tears were rolling down over her eyes. And she said, I can't do this. I'm trying to be good, but nobody. So she took the bread and threw it away in the fireplace. And she said, I have to make another bread. She made another fresh bread. Again, I made another fresh chapati and sliced in the middle and put some peanut butter, put some what? Jelly, Nutella, and avocado. And she put the bread on the window. And guess who came back again? The hunchback man. And took the bread again without saying thank you. Took the bread without saying gracias. Took the bread without saying shukran. Took the bread without saying asante sana. And looked at the woman and said, the evil that you do will come back to you. The good that you do will come back to you. And he walked away with the bread. The woman was mad. She was livid. She was so mad, she did not hear someone knocking on her door. Can you knock something? Louder, she did not hear it. Louder! She did not hear it. Louder! She did not hear it. Louder! Hey! She heard it. As soon as she heard it, you know how you open your door when you're mad? She went to the door and she was so mad. And guess who was standing at the door? Was not the hunchback man. This time, it was the woman's son. A son, a young son, who had disappeared for 3 weeks, was standing in the doorway. The woman, she said, son, where have you been? She grabbed the son And they started to hug in the middle of the house. As they were hugging and crying, the woman, she was hugging the son and crying, and the son was hugging the mother and crying. And they were crying and holding each other. They were hugging and crying and holding each other. And the woman said, son, you have cost me. Where have you been, son? I was so worried. I thought you were dead, son. Where have you been, son? And they were hugging, and the son looked at them and said, Mama, I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry. I went into the wilderness. I fell in a deep, deep hole. I could not come out of the hole, Mama. I grew so tired, hungry and thirsty. I could not come out of the hole, Mama. Until last week, a hunchback man came and gave me some bread. The hunchback man said I needed the bread more than he did. And every day, Mama, this hunchback man has been coming and giving me bread every day. He said I needed the bread more than he did. And today, Mama, this hunchback man came and he gave me bread. And he helped me out of the hole, Mama. And that's why I'm here, Mama. And they hugged, and they cried, and they cried. And the woman, she remembered the words of the hunchback man, which said, the good that you do will come back to you. The evil that you do will come back to you. End of story. The good Bible says that love is kind, love is patient, love does not grow weary or well-doing. Love conquers a multitude of sin. And so we have to constantly continue doing well if everybody around us is not doing well. But we have to do what? Show love. And that's why we are here today. Everybody say, Nakupenda. 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 We. Let's sing it together. Nakupenda. 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 We. Let's try again. Nakupenda, 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 we. One more time. Nakupenda, 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 we. Look at your loved one and sing to them. Nakupenda. Nakupenda, nakupenda, wewe. One more time. Nakupenda, 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 wewe. Again. Nakupenda, nakupenda, nakupenda. Everybody clap. Nakupenda, 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 wewe. One more time. Nakupenda, 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 wewe. I shall come back on the next day. Thank you so much.
Chihuahua. Chihuahua.